Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 16th Capital Improvement Committee meeting. I've passed out packets tonight, and it is this packet, Joe, if you want to pull yours out, okay. The one with the paper clip. And the first page is the agenda. We can put that aside. The second page is a draft, and you see it's marked draft twice. The first half of this is taken directly from the town audit. Okay, this tells us that in capital improvement funds and carried forward funds, excluding some capital improvement funds. The total there is $846,553. Totally, we have in reserve funds and capital improvement funds $1,014,832. Now, as I say that, I'm just saying that to go over this quickly. If you look at this, and I mean it seriously, you take it home and look at it in red. This is a breakdown that goes with, if you see these sheets in here. Yeah. You see these sheets like this, Joe? Right. Okay. Yeah. This is what it is. This is the word describing what it is. Okay. Okay.
So we'll start with like the fire department, and then...
We have fire department goes, then we have municipality, which we need to get some catching up on. Yeah. I did find some old notes from you that had quite a list.
All right, good.
So it may not have been quite what we thought. We have land use department, transfer station, rec department, community needs. I could have put wants, but I put needs, community needs, the town and road needs. I listed it that way because it might be like the culvert on West Shore or the road bridge. The roads might be fine, but it might be those individual items on the roads that need that. Okay. So, and we know what those monies are pretty much. Right. Now, we've been talking about them for years. And also the last page is the long-range planning capital improvement list from the school department. Okay, so I need you to go over those and become familiar with them. Okay, that's the first thing on our agenda. I asked for and got a asset inventory from Michelle. Okay. Now, the thing that I don't have, and Kim, perhaps you can get this, is the property and the acreage that we own in town would come from O'Donnell, and maybe that's something you can get.
Yep. And I'm hoping, she's working on, I have talked with her. Okay. Jen, and so she's working on it. It's not done. So.
Okay. Well, I offered...
and she's thinking, you know, probably most of it was touched on, but still, I still want...
I want you to know I did offer to meet with her.
Yeah. Okay.
I think all of our assignments have been completed, except perhaps the municipality. So now we have to put this together in a cohesive thing. But I did want to report on the February 9th Board of Selectmen's meeting. If you have a chance to watch it, I wish you would. It became extremely clear that not everybody on the select board knew what we were doing or had any expectation of what we were doing. We had been given by the town treasurer.
Well, she had given me the 2 or 3 and, you know, I had gone through them, and that's the one that looked the best.
This
So
is the
what
one capital improvement program. It's property of the State Planning Office, State Street, Augusta, blah, blah, blah. This is what our Bible has been, and this is what we have been using and will continue to use until we finish our report. I have already said that a year and a half into our report, it's a little too late to tell us we only want a list with numbers. This will be prioritized. There was talk of a request.
I would think that, you know, this committee would gather all this and get it all figured out and know, you know, like what the main thing that needs to be done, you know, the most, like you said, prioritized. And then that goes to the selectmen, and then we go through it and, you know, make a decision.
That's what happens at the very end.
Right, okay, that's what I thought.
Going by this,
when I had read it, that's, you know.
well, and that is what you read.
Okay.
But going by this, we are also charged with figuring out what things are going to cost.
Right.
How to get the money to do them. How to even find out about bonds.
It's mainly.
And that is in the manual we were given.
Right.
And when I say, I'm not going to keep saying town treasurer, I'm going to say by the town. Because I think our treasurer represents singly as much as anybody else, the town, especially finances. So this was from Mira, and that's what we have been doing, and that's how we'll put it together. One of the things we found, and this goes way back to when Mr. McGurty was still on our committee, and who else are we missing? One other person.
Mr. Waterhouse?
And Roland Waterhouse were on the committee. And we did start researching companies who are engineering companies who come in and do total assessments on properties owned by the town. That being said, I did, you know, reach out after other members had and said, is this town too small? Is this something? Oh no, we'd be interested in your town. What would you think of? And off the top of my head, I said, 3 buildings, our 3 biggest buildings. And I actually said 4, and they said, oh, that doesn't count. It's very small. They look us up on Google Earth, and they came up with a price, and they said, if you're interested, this is what our service costs to do it. And they give you a whole plan. But when they come in and they look at a building, and I'm not taking a building in particular for any reason other than we're sitting here in this hall.
Right, yep.
They look at it. They look at these, you know, braces over here. They look at the little swag here, swag over there. They look at all kinds of things. They look at the plumbing. They look at the electricity. They look at everything. Things that we don't have
the knowledge
or expertise to do. And of course it comes at a cost.
Right.
Well, according to this book, that's what we should
be doing, is reaching out.
Okay? Yep. Making that available. This is not, we did not go out for bids. This was not going out for bids. This was finding the information to pass on to the town administrator and the selectmen. Yep. That's exactly what it was. So, you know, from there, you know, because the other thing is this committee, if you look at any of these things in here, and several of the smaller things that I found on my own, you can find anything on Google today. Just Google it, you know, that a capital improvement committee should have close to 10 members.
Yeah.
You need someone, you need town citizens, you need somebody from every department in the town.
Right.
You're a small municipality. We're not going to do that. What we did do, instead of having somebody from every department, is we went the liaison route.
Right.
you know. Roland, who is not here any longer, he and Wayne did the transfer station. Tom did the expertise and engineering part. Roland did the fire department. I did the schools. The rec department was you and I, but we invited them here.
Right.
So they came to us. The town hall was you, and as I said, I did find some of your first things.
Oh, good.
And last but not least, the land use was me, because I had planning board experience.
Right.
So instead of having those members on the board, we reached out as liaisons to all of the department. Special thanks to the school department and to Michelle Romney for their input. Easy to work with, fast, quick, and they know what they're doing. I mean, it was wonderful, wonderful to work with them.
Good.
Other than that, you know, any open meeting, any open discussion, but again, back to the report of the last BOS meeting, it was unpleasant to stand there and to be told, I didn't want your committee anyway. You were outvoted. That should be the end of it in a professional world.
Don't even need to discuss it. I mean,
okay,
really.
In a professional world,
I know.
That should be the end of it. And I just want to say that I hope what I've said tonight has clear. You all have worked too hard in getting what we need to do this right.
And I think it's hard to understand what this committee does if you're not involved with it. And so, you know, hopefully
exactly.
It'll work out.
So, in 1 second, yes, you may. I would like to call our next meeting to be on March 2nd.
Okay.
Okay, yep. Joe, March 2nd?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. And now we'll have open discussion.
This is from an outsider's perspective. When Kim first started talking about this capital improvement committee, it took a year before she could get enough support to get this committee started.
Yeah.
And I remember Roland standing up and saying, if you're going to have this committee, that there has to be something laid out, a policy about what they're supposed to do. My memory serves me right. The selectmen had Michelle look at several options, and then she met with whoever and decided that this was the option to take. Okay, Michelle did this under the direction of the Board of Selectmen.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so ultimately, the way the Capital Improvement Committee's been operating is really right under the direction of the Board of Selectmen. Whether everybody agrees or doesn't agree is irrelevant.
Right.
The majority of the board said this is what we want.
Right.
And everybody on that committee has done a lot of work, spent a lot of hours trying to do what's in that document that you guys were given by the Board of Selectmen. And there is no way, being part of this stuff over the years, and this is not a criticism of anybody that's on the committee, by any way, shape, or form. When she and the chair set forward this money for an engineer, what I heard during the meeting was this building. Okay? And that is not what the engineer is for. It's doing an assessment on all town buildings.
Right.
Whether it's a transfer station, the fire department, any buildings the town owns.
Yep.
Okay? and there is nobody on that board, I don't believe on any board in town, is qualified to do an accurate assessment on what the needs of these buildings are.
No, I think that, you know, if and when we do it, I mean, we are going to need somebody, a specialist. That's,
Well, I'm just saying, my observation
Yep.
from the selectmen's meeting last week, that $10,000 isn't gonna happen. Okay? And you get tied into the siding even out back, which one has nothing to do with the other. Okay? But nobody's qualified to do this. So for them to accomplish, for you guys to accomplish your objective, you have to have a professional come in and say, this is what needs to be done, and this is what it's gonna cost. And honestly, Kim, and don't take this as an attack, I would look to you, sitting at a selectmen's meeting, to defend what this committee is trying to do. I know a lot about maintenance, okay? And I'm surely not qualified to come in and do an assessment on these buildings. I can see stuff,
right, right.
okay? And I know the history of stuff.
Yep.
But for me to say we need $10,000 to fix the library, for example, that's just a number that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
I mean, I do agree that this is what we're going to need. I mean, so
but it seemed like
I tried explaining it
we're sitting here
last week, you know, why.
I'm sitting here and it's like nobody is supporting this request. And that's the way I felt. And I felt it was never going to come to the Warren Finance Committee. And myself personally, I think it should. I would support it as a Warren Finance Committee member.
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is, some of the stuff we've done in the past, if we had had a professional come in and do an assessment before we did it,
Right.
we probably would have saved more money.
Yep, absolutely.
From a business point of view, that's how you do things.
I was hoping, you know, tonight at our meeting that we were going to discuss it again. I mean, we really didn't.
Well, you bring it up.
I mean, we didn't really get into it, so that's something that's on my list, so.
Yeah, bring it up.
You know.
Just let me and have the conversation.
Yeah.
You've got an equal voice.
I know.
And you yourself have put a lot of time into this. And you need to stand up and fight for what you believe in. I know it's hard sometimes, but sometimes you gotta. You've been there, you've done that. You know what I mean?
I do.
And I just think it was something like a slap in the face to everybody on the committee that spent all this time on it. Because I think that the selectmen should support, maybe not the whole document, but support getting what they need to get the document completed. Because the selectmen are the ones that set the document up to begin with.
Right.
So after a year and you...
I'm going to say a select person set it up, okay?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I'm just, you know, you say select persons, but, you know.
You agree with what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, we've got to talk about it. We've been working hard and, I mean, we want to go forward. We don't want to go, we want to go forward, not kind of stay stagnant here after, you know, everybody has done so much work. You know, I really think that this capital improvement committee is a good thing for this town. I do, so.
We have, I'm going to interrupt the two of you, because I think we've pretty much said what needs to be said. When the treasurer came to us, we invited her.
Yep.
She has been trying to get a capital improvement committee since she started work here. A selectman agreed with her, and it only took nearly 2 years, but it came to fruition.
Right, so we just got to keep plugging away.
And we have to keep doing it. I think to people out there who are watching us, we need at least 2 more members. Come down and volunteer. We're a nice committee here. We're nice people, you know. Our meetings are usually quite quick. We try to keep them to not more than 45 minutes. A lot of the work can be done at home on computers or talking directly to somebody else. So it's a good committee. We want you to join us. I just hope, as a chairman, I don't want to see this throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know, it's just not the way how things get done, and it's not the way we move forward. It's not the way how we spend our money wisely, you know. Right. We have to spend our money wisely. I mean, I can throw out 2 or 3 numbers right now that will curl your hair. And in this program put out by the state, it says in black and white, the citizens and the select board of towns will be shocked to see how much money they need in capital reserve over the next 10 to 20 years. Absolutely. In 10 years, we're talking about millions, that's with an S, just for the fire department. Just for the fire department alone. And it's not, oh, well, we just bought a truck. Well, unfortunately, trucks wear out. You know, ambulances wear out.
Everything does. And
everything wears out.
Things are more expensive.
Buildings outgrow their youth. Roofs on buildings develop leaks. There are all kinds of things that happen. So I want to put that to bed. And I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Right.